Hello everybody, welcome back. I'm Urvashi and today in this video I'm going to share a very simple technique with all of you whereby you can check how the native is on an emotional side, how emotional is a person, how comfortable is someone connecting with new people, how cold, how warm, how practical is the person that you're meeting. So this is a very, very simple technique and all of you can use this very easily. But before I start, remember to subscribe, remember to also tap the bell icon, because after subscribing also you will not get any notifications if you do not tap the bell icon. So this is my first video. This is a Gemini technique and this is my first video in this series. I'll be making many more. So remember to do that. Only then will you get a notification. So very simple. To see this, you have to first know your Atma Karak planet. Atma Karak planet is the planet with the highest degrees in your chart. So you can just look up your chart, and in every zodiac sign there are 30 degrees, so 0 to 30. So the planet which is at the highest degree is the Atma Karak. Atma is the soul. Karak is the significator of the soul. So the fixed significator of the soul is the sun. That is the fixed significator in all our charts. There is another scheme called a Charakarka scheme where the significators are not fixed and they change for every person. So you could have any of the planets as your Atma Karak planets. So take your Atma Karak planet with the highest degree. I'm going to give you an example chart here and see the zodiac sign that planet is in. So in your Rashi chart, for instance, I'm sharing this screen with you, sharing this chart with you. This person's Venus is at the highest degree. So his Atma Karak planet is Venus, posited in Aries in the 10th house. So here, once you know your Atma Karak, now see the zodiac sign that the planet is posited in. If it's an odd sign, odd signs are the 1st, the 3rd, the 5th, the 7th, the 9th and the 11th. Aries, Gemini, Leo, Libra, Sagittarius and Aquarius are odd signs. Then the counting will be direct. If it's an even sign, 2, 4, 6, 8 and 12 and 10 of course. So Taurus, Cancer, Virgo, Scorpio, Capricorn and Pisces. If it's an even sign, if your Atma Karak is in an even sign, then the counting will go reverse. So in this person's chart, the Atma Karak Venus is in Aries, which is an odd sign. So we will count in the normal fashion. From Aries, you will count to Taurus, then Gemini, then Cancer. Let's suppose the Atma Karak was in Taurus. It is not, but let's suppose it was in an even sign. Let's suppose Jupiter was his Atma Karak. So in that case, now the counting will now be reversed. So from Taurus, then we go back to Aries, Pisces, Aquarius. So if the Atma Karak is in Taurus, then you will have to look at Aquarius, the 4th house from the Atma Karak. If it's an even sign, counting goes backwards to Aquarius. In this case, it's an odd sign. So from Aries, we count forward. Take the 4th sign from Aries. So Aries, Taurus, Gemini, Cancer. So for this chart, I'm going to look at Cancer. If your Atma Karak is in Cancer, let's suppose your Atma Karak is in Cancer. So Cancer is again another even sign, count backwards. So Cancer, Gemini, Taurus and Aries. Then you will have to look at the sign of Aries. So this is very simple. Find your Atma Karak. See the sign that the Atma Karak is posited in. If it's an even sign, count backwards. If it's an odd sign, count forward. Come to the 4th house. To see the emotional nature, the deep inner nature, emotional strength as well as weakness, how warm, how kind this person is, how cold this person is, how stable this person is. See the 4th house from the Atma Karak. forward or backward depending on the zodiac sign it is posited in. So in this case, we see Saturn in the 4th house. Because his Atma Karak, Venus is in Aries, we count 4 signs, and now we've come down to Cancer. In Cancer is posited Saturn. Saturn and Rahu, 2 planets, both are, windy planets. They represent the airy element. So these are the 2 coldest planets. These people sometimes may not know how to connect with others. They will remain cold, but they will remain very strong in their emotions. So emotionally, they will not get flustered easily. They will be very strong. They will not connect very easily. They will not want to connect. They will not feel the warmth or the connection very easily with anybody. But don't be judgmental just by looking at one chart. Here, now look at the aspects on the sign of Cancer. Aspects, only the Rashi aspects we have to see, not the Graha aspects, not the aspects of the planet, but the aspects of the signs. How to see the aspects of the signs? Very simple. The movable signs, Aries, Cancer, Libra and Capricorn, are always looking at the fixed signs. So which are the fixed signs? Taurus, Leo, Aquarius and Scorpio. 4 fixed signs. So the movable signs, Aries, Libra, Cancer and Capricorn, are looking at the fixed signs, and the fixed signs are looking at the movable signs. Always remember this formula. The only thing is that Aries will not look at Taurus because a sign cannot look at the next sign. It just is not able to see that. You can say this is the blind spot or something. So Aries will look at Leo, Aries will look at Scorpio, and they will look at Aquarius. It will look at Aquarius. Similarly, if you look at the fixed signs, Taurus cannot see Aries. That is the blind spot. It's right next to Aries, so it cannot see Aries. It's too close to see Aries. So Taurus will look at Cancer, will look at Libra, and will look at Capricorn. Similarly, Leo will look at Aries but cannot see Cancer because Cancer is right next door. So that is the blind spot. So Leo will look at Aries, will look at Libra, and will look at Capricorn. But they cannot look at the sign which is right next to them. So remember this rule of aspects, very simple. I've explained aspects also to you, Rashi aspects. And the dual signs. The dual signs, all 4 signs look at each other. So all the dual signs are looking at each other. Gemini, Virgo, Sagittarius, Pisces, the 4 signs are looking at each other. So that is the simple Rashi Drishti that I have explained to you. So now we have to look at the Rashi Drishti of other houses or other zodiac signs on the sign of Cancer, because Cancer is the 4th house from the Atma Karak. Counting forward, since this is an odd Rashi, the 2 houses that are looking at Cancer that have planets are Scorpio, which has Moon, and Taurus, which has Jupiter. None of these planets are very well posited. Moon is debilitated in a friend's house but debilitated. Jupiter is in an enemy's house. Saturn is in an enemy's house. So anyways, that is the general picture we are getting. Now we will go and look at the same thing in the Navamsh, in the D9 chart. In the D9 chart, this person has Venus, the Atma Karak, in Sagittarius. Again, it's an odd sign. Since it's an odd sign, we will count forward. If it had been an even sign, we would have counted backward. So counting forward from Sagittarius, this is Sagittarius, Capricorn, Aquarius and Pisces. So Pisces is the sign we have to focus on. And Pisces here has Ketu in its Mool Trikon. So this is a very, very strong Ketu that we see here. And Rahu is also in its Mool Trikon aspecting Ketu. Venus is again in an enemy sign, though Venus is again in a dual sign. So the dual signs here, what are the aspects on Ketu? Ketu is in a dual Rashi. So all the dual signs, Gemini, Virgo, Sagittarius and Pisces are aspecting each other. So the three planets that are aspecting the sign of Pisces, the fourth house from the Atma Karak are only Virgo, where Rahu is posited, and Venus from Sagittarius. But Venus is again in not a friendly sign. Rahu is in its Mool Trikon. So Rahu, Ketu are the only aspects on the fourth house. So again we see Ketu and Mars are two planets. I already told you Saturn and Rahu are the coldest planets. Make you rugged, make you strong, but cold, unable to connect. Ketu and Mars are the two most practical planets. They are strong in their goals and they do not get emotionally flustered very easily. So they are, once they've decided on a goal, whatever is happening around them doesn't bother them much. They are very, target oriented. You can say like that. Though not very warm, though not very soft, but not flustered very easily. Better than Saturn and Rahu to an extent. Now we will see the same placement in the D16 chart. In the D16 chart, we have Venus and Sun in the sign of Gemini. Again, Venus, the Atma Karak, is in an odd sign, so we count forward. From Gemini, we come down to Virgo, is the fourth sign. And Jupiter is posited there in the fourth from the Atma Karak. We are counting forward because Atma Karak is again an odd sign. So Jupiter is posited here. Jupiter is a warm planet. So let me talk a little bit about the planets. Moon and Venus are the softest, kindest, warmest effects that you can find in the fourth house. They'll make a person warm and gentle. The second in the list would be Jupiter. Jupiter is warm, but there's more wisdom. There's a little more practicality because there's more wisdom. Moon and Venus both, are Jala Tattva planets, are watery planets. So there is more emotion, more warmth, more kindness, more softness. Jupiter would be a little more balanced, stronger, yet warm and kind. The third would be Mars and Ketu, very practical planets. But before that would be the Sun. The Sun is an independent planet. The Sun doesn't require any emotional support. So if you have the Sun impact in the fourth house, this person is emotionally secure and doesn't need anybody else to make him feel secure. He's confident about himself, confident about his emotions, and strong and focused in his purpose of life. So Sun impacting the fourth is also a positive. Jupiter is very, very positive. Moon and Venus make one very soft, very kind. And such people tend to feel bad about, anybody says anything bad to them, they will get more hurt. They are gentler, they are softer. Jupiter is a stronger person, even in spite of the fact that it's warm, but it's wise and it's like a guru there. So it gives you more strength. Sun gives you more purpose, more strength, more independence, more confidence. Mars and Ketu make you very practical, more goal-oriented, and they do not get flustered easily. But Saturn and Rahu are the ones that make you the coldest, and sometimes you are not able to connect with anybody. So in this case, we have a Jupiter in the fourth. But Jupiter is in a sign of Mercury, not well placed. Jupiter is in the seventh from himself. Pisces is Jupiter's own sign. Jupiter is in the 12th from itself. So this is not a well placed Jupiter. Saturn is aspecting from Pisces. So that is a neutral sign for Saturn. Sun is in the sign of Gemini. So Venus is also in the sign of a friend's house. So Venus and Sun are aspecting. So these are the planets we are seeing right from D1, then D9, then D16. D16 is the inner consciousness. So it's important to see the D16 chart as well. But from these three charts, we have seen that Ketu is the planet which is the strongest in the fourth house. It was in its Mool Trikon. Rahu was aspecting in D9. Ketu was posited. So the strongest effect on this person's emotions will be that of Ketu, which is going to make him very practical, and not, very concerned about what's happening around him. He's going to be very focused about his goals. Ketu is impacting this person, making him very practical. He doesn't get flustered by what's happening around him. He doesn't get emotionally involved in a lot of things that are happening around him. He's very focused, and even if he's not able to find a goal somewhere to focus on, he manages to come to a situation. He looks for situations where he gets focused on some certain activities, and doesn't get emotionally upset. So the only planet we have missed out is Mercury. So Mercury gives one the capability of being very flexible, and the person is very friendly, very flexible, very adaptable. So the person quickly adapts, is concerned, is friendly, wants to learn, wants to connect with new things. So I hope I was able to clearly explain myself. Saturn Rahu impacting in the strongest way in any of these charts would suggest somebody cold, somebody who doesn't connect very easily with others, somebody who you could say little hard-hearted. Mars and Ketu more practical, more focused towards their goals. Sun confident about themselves and not requiring emotional support from others. Jupiter, who is warm, requires less, is happy inside, but is kind and yet is able to connect with others. Moon and Venus are gentle, soft, kind people, and those that can be upset easily. And Mercury, very adaptable to changes, want to connect with others. They'll be able to make friends easily as well. So what you have to do is check the 4th house in all 3 charts. The planet that has the strongest influence, that is in the best dignity, will be the planet that is impacting the consciousness, the maximum, where emotions are concerned, emotional stability is concerned. Of course, we are all a mixture. The other planets also aspecting. So Moon is aspecting, Jupiter is aspecting in D1. In D9, you will see Venus is of course also aspecting. In D16, again, Venus, Sun, Jupiter, Saturn are all, impacting the 4th. But since Ketu is the strongest, and practically I've seen this person is quite focused. Not even losing a loved one moved this person to an extent where he was emotionally or she was emotionally, very, very touched. This person is more practical, more focused in his approach. So you can go and check your charts. It's a simple technique. We can easily use it when we're looking at charts and, even for our consultations. I hope this will help you. We'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye for now.